Good afternoon, guys. Working, bringing you a quick update on Bitcoin. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week. We're looking at BTC to the US dollar, 4-hour chart on Coinbase, guys. And if you remember the update yesterday, we were watching this 7,800 resistance, this zone right in here. I said if price ends up breaking above it, above 7,800, we were going to more than likely just shoot straight up to this zone up in here between 8,400 and 8,600. Sure enough, price broke above. That's exactly what happened. I mean, this thing just shot up like a rocket ship all the way up. We found resistance right at the top just before this 8,400 resistance point here that I called. We found it at resistance at 8,358, 8,360, depending on which exchange you're at. And then we got a little bit of a rejection. Now, that's a very relevant rejection point. Why is that? Well, and by the way, guys, I mean, they say imitation is the best form of flattery. Well, there are some people that are having some very, very close resemblance to my TA recently, and they seem to come out right after mine do. So I find that very interesting. I'll just leave it there, guys. But anyway, okay. So as I've been pointing out many, many, many times, and of course, I'm not the only analyst that's pointed this out either. But as I've been pointing out many, many times, guys, from the top of this swing high to swing low, we've got to keep an eye on our 618 fib level, guys. I've told you many times that algos oftentimes target that 618. If we can get on the other side of that 618, that's going to be very bullish. That means algos are going to start picking targets up here. Okay, why do I bring that up? Well, as I said, we go swing low to swing high. Where did price end up coming out to? Right dab, I mean, almost to the dollar, maybe just within a couple dollars of that 618 target. And there we got a rejection. Now, what's bullish about this is, what's bear? Let me tell you the two sides of the story. What's bearish is that we got a rejection right there at the 618, telling me that yes, indeed, algos are still looking at this as an overall downtrend. They pegged that as a retracement target, and now some of them are looking for targets down lower. Okay, that's the bullish, that's the bearish point of view. The bullish point of view is, yes, we knew algos were going to target this 618 fib level, but look at how well so far the bulls have been able to defend this gain. There was no massive rejection, at least as of yet. There was no massive rejection. Doesn't mean it might not come, guys, and it might. But as of now, they're doing a very good job of defending this this gain so far, and all of that with no major correction since it started rising since $6,000. So we've gone from 6,000 to 8,200 so far with no major correction. That is incredible. I mean, and eventually we're going to get a correction, guys. I mean, TA-wise, we should have had a correction. We should have had a correction down here. TA-wise, we should absolutely have a correction right here, at least a couple $100 correction. You know, at least down to about $8,000 again before we head up. But Bitcoin has been so bullish, and the FOMO has been so real, and people are so excited that this is the bull run that people are just FOMOing this, willing it almost into existence to keep pushing up. Now, eventually, we're going to get that correction, guys. Eventually, TA always takes over, and we get the correction that we need. But I'm not convinced. What I'm watching now is, okay, as I said, we had this wick right at the 618. We can see price came down. It corrected down to about 81.15 and is now starting to rally back up. What I'm going to be watching, and as I zoom in here, guys, is a double top. I want to see if we end up creating a double top where price comes up here, retest this 618 point. So again, that's going to be right at about, let's see, that's right at the top of that 618. That's going to be right about 8,360 or thereabouts. I'm waiting to see this candle come up, test that again. If it comes up, test it again, and kind of just hangs out up here, that's going to be, even if it doesn't break it, that'll be a very bullish sign. If we come up, double tap the top here, and then have a massive rejection, okay, that tells me, even then, it's not going to be a very bearish sign. It's going to be just more of, okay, the market's starting to get more realistic. Okay, and at that point, if we do get a rejection off of that second double tap, off of the double top there, if it rejects and we do get a correction, I'm looking for it to drop to somewhere in the neighborhood of 8,000 to 5,900. I say that because, let me go ahead and clean this up. Okay, why do I say that? Okay, guys, I went ahead and pulled out to the daily chart just so it's a little better to look at. So I went from our latest swing low to swing high. Okay, so this being, remember, guys, from an Elliott perspective, we're looking at wave 5 here. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're on wave 5. So if I come to the bottom of our wave 4 to the top of what I don't think wave 5 is completed yet, but just from what the structure that we have so far, if we do get a correction right here, I'm going to call it to probably somewhere around the 382 to the 0.5 fib level. That also jives very, very nicely with the top of what was a resistance area right there at 7,800, guys. That was a massive resistance area that we've been able to break through for so long. Finally broke through, and now that should act as support. So if we end up coming up having a double top, let me go back to the 4 hour so when it actually makes sense when I say double top. So there we go. If we come up and have a double top, come back down, I'm going to be looking for I'm going to be looking for a correction somewhere between the 0.5, somewhere between the 50 and the 382, somewhere thereabouts. So somewhere between 8,000 and 7,800, which would also be the top of this, what now should act as a support zone, this 7,800. Okay, so, but if we end up breaking up, let me go ahead and get rid of this. As I said, guys, if we end up breaking up, if we come up here, test that 618 and break through it, at that point, I'm going to be looking for price to rise up here to about 8,600 before it starts correcting. I'd imagine it'd rise up to the top of this 8,600 zone. At that point, possibly correcting. Excuse me, guys. Possibly correcting it. Well, at that point, I'll readdress you as far as how far I think it would correct. Now, I'll have to wait and see how it looks at that price. But if it does break above that 618, in other words, if it gets a decisive break up, not by a wick, but a decisive break up, I think it'll likely come up and test at least the top of this zone. At least the top of this zone. If it breaks the top of this zone at 6,800, we have very, very likely that we're going to come up to 7,800 thereabouts, because there's just not much resistance in between 76 and 78, or excuse me, in between 86 and 8,700. So these are the zones that we're kind of keeping an eye on for now, guys. If I pull over here to my okay, this was I told you guys if we end up breaking above this descending resistance line, that my primary count would be an ABC. My primary count is now an ABC. I'm viewing this now as 5 waves up. The next target we're looking for is to take out this $10,000. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not telling you that if you remember right, guys, for a while I've had my count, my primary count has been an A, B, C, D, E. That's still on the table. That's still on the table. It's not my primary anymore, but it's still on the table, guys. And until we get up, let me go ahead and clear that out. Until we get above this $10,000, which was the prior B waves high, until we get above that, that is not going to be invalidated. That said, I'm counting now this as an ABC, and I'm cautiously counting this as about 5 waves up. And I'd say I'm about 55% this is 5 waves up, and we're going to be continuing this bull run, and about 45% chance that we're going to end up coming up and coming back down for our E wave. So not quite 50-50, a little more bullish than bearish, but hey, there you go. It's better than nothing. All right, guys. So moving to our moving averages, this is the 4-hour chart. We can see that price has just crashed right through our Bollinger Bands here. Again, this is the 4-hour. Bollinger Bands are just widening with price. Excuse me. We can see that price is well above the 8-day EMA. We've got a very bullish setup with the 8-day EMA on top, the 21-day EMA in the middle, and the 55-day EMA on the bottom. That's a very bullish setup, guys. Looking at the daily. Let me just kind of look a little better here. Okay, looking at the daily, you can see on the Bollinger Bands that we're well above the Bollinger Bands. They're just getting stretched. And so again, guys, technical analysis tells me that this thing should be correcting at any point in time. But it just keeps going up. At least it has, guys. So that just shows you how strong the FOMO is here, guys. I mean, people are just entering this market, defying the indicators left and right. Okay, on the daily chart, today is a very, very significant day for our moving averages, our exponential moving averages. We can see that the 21-day moving average, which is highlighted here in yellow, is now rising above the 55-day moving average, which is highlighted here in pink. That's a very bullish sign. The 8-day moving average in blue here is on top of both of them. Once you have a 8-day moving average on top, a 21-day moving average in the middle, and a 55-day moving average on the bottom, on a daily chart, that's a very, very bullish setup, and that's a signal, a big signal to start looking at long positions. So in case you weren't already, this is a bullish setup. This is one indicator that can be used as a sign to start entering, to start dollar cost averaging into longer position. It is not the only indicator. It is just a indicator. Okay, looking at our daily RSI, this is our 4-hour RSI. We can see our 4-hour RSI is very, very strongly overbought, sitting at about 82 almost. That is that is extremely high, and again, should be calling for a pullback. Doesn't mean we will get a pullback, but again, a technical analysis tells me that we're more than likely going to get a pullback very, very soon. Looking at the daily RSI, guys, this is a very important zone. On the daily RSI, anytime we've gone above 70 on Bitcoin on the daily RSI, that has turned into a very bullish bull run. That's kind of redundant. That has turned into a massive bull run every time we've gone above 70 in the past, guys. Here we did it back in, obviously in December we had one, in November, all of the end of last year we did it. So again, it broke above 70. That's a very bullish sign. We're sitting at about 76 at the moment. Also, again, screaming for a correction, but we will see if Bitcoin can hold off a little bit longer. Looking at the daily stock RSI, we can see it's very, very overbought as well. So also, just asking for a correction on the 4-hour, very overbought. So they're all overbought. All the indicators are overbought, guys, which tells me that at any point we should be getting a correction. Whether or not we get that, we will wait and see if FOMO also once again takes over technical analysis. So anyway, guys, these are my quick thoughts on Bitcoin. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. And until next time, please trade safe. This is Workin signing out.